Alright, guys, so Chucky Season 2 is finally here with the premiere tonight called Halloween 2, which we get a few cool little horror references and lines in here, like we did throughout Season 1. And for the first episode of this season, I mean, it's fine. It's kind of like a bridge between Season 1 and what we're about to get into with the rest of the season, because not much happens in this episode, but it makes sense. Like, I wasn't expecting much to happen because they had to go back and explain pretty much where all three of these characters, Lexi and Jake and Devin, where they're at in life now after the events from the first one. And now we have Jake that's with a foster family with this adorable brother who's obsessed with Batman and Robin. And Devin is with a foster family too, and Jake's foster family moved him to Salem, New Jersey, so they're apart for most of this episode. And Lexi's the only one that still has a parent left, has the mother. And she's running again for her second term as mayor, which it does not look good for her to be reelected with. I mean, that guy's got some balls, too, that interviewer, to bring up the whole thing of Caroline saying that Chucky tells her to do things, and that Chucky's going to kill everybody, and or that she wants that Chucky wants Caroline to kill the mother. That takes some fucking balls to ask somebody. Like, I can totally feel for her in that situation, the mother, and I don't care for that character. She's just a bitch to me, but I can totally see where she's coming from, where she says, get out of my house, because now you're bringing my daughter into it, and she's a kid, and now you're going to start bringing her problems that you don't even know exactly what her issues are and stuff into this whole political thing of her trying to run for mayor again. That's messed up. But I don't see her getting reelected for any reason. Like, especially with all the shit that happened in season 1, and especially in the finale in the movie theater and stuff, all happening in her town under her watch that she's the mayor of. Can't see her getting elected again. And so we get Andy shoots the Tiffany doll and blows her head off. So I'm sure it's not the last that we've seen of the Tiffany doll. For all we know, there could be an army of them as well. Like, we don't know. Chucky is always like 1 or 2 steps ahead of everybody, for the most part. Just like how he gets them all together here in this episode to try to kill them and blow them all up. And I love the opening credits in here. I was just Chucky, a bunch of Chucky pumpkins. Really cool. And I like even during the commercials. It's like the first time in years that I actually enjoyed a commercial. When Chucky was talking about Halloween Ends and rooting for Michael and saying after how many years and stuff, you still haven't gotten this girl yet. And then he starts completely changing his opinion. He's like, actually, I'm on her side. He's like, fuck him up, Lori. That's funny. That was a cute little merge of both franchises, having Chucky comment on Halloween. That was some cool stuff. Then after Andy crashes the truck, we flash forward 6 months, and love the little reference to the film The Strangers with Chucky calling Jake and saying, is Tamara home? And he repeats it again, and I guess Jake didn't get the reference because, correct me if I'm wrong, but they said that Bride of Chucky is a movie in this universe here. So there was actually a movie called Bride of Chucky in this show's universe, right? I didn't mishear that. Pretty sure Jake said, and that's how they figured, know who Tiffany is and Jennifer Tilly and stuff. Because they said that, yeah, she was in the Bride of Chucky, the movie. So I'm pretty sure that's what they said. So apparently, Bride of Chucky, the movie, is a movie in the universe in the TV series here. So I don't know how that plays into anything, and I guess we will find out as the weeks go on. And Chucky goes to Caroline, Lexi's sister, and last season I was thinking that she was going to play a bigger part, that Chucky was actually going to get her to start killing for him. I could see that still happening. Like just with like the shot of her in bed with the Tiffany doll, and she pulls the kitchen knife out, and you just see her eyes reflect off the blade. Like I could still see them going in that direction. How? I don't know. Especially since now all three of the main characters here are all going to be together in one place at this Catholic school for troubled kids they get sent to. So I don't know how much Caroline could be brought back into it, but we don't know if they're going to be at the school the whole season or just a few episodes until something happens. I don't know. I don't watch trailers. I haven't seen any of the trailers for the season or anything. So this was completely blind going into this, just the way I like it. And apparently Jake was carving a Chucky jack-o'-lantern. I mean, he's so traumatized from everything that happened last season with this doll. And then numerous dolls in the last episode. And he felt the need to carve a pumpkin to look like Chucky. I didn't get that. I don't, maybe it was just for him to stab the knife into and take his frustration out on. But I don't know why he was carving a Chucky jack-o'-lantern after all the trauma that Chucky has put him through, and Devin and Lexi. And Lexi's taking it the hardest, man. Lexi is doing cocaine. She was smoking pot last season, but smoking pot, doing cocaine. She's taking pills like crazy, snorting pills, tranquilizers and stuff. She's all messed up. And it sucks. I mean, this is the same character that most of us hated the first few episodes of the first season. Especially when she came at the Halloween party dressed like Jake's father and was convulsing and shaking around. That was the bitch we all wanted dead. And it's amazing. I think it's really an amazing thing. And it's a pretty well done how they brought her character completely around for the rest of the first season and into this and made her a likable character. I really love the character of Lexi. I think she's a great character, a great addition to this whole franchise. But she's taking it the hardest, and it sucks, and you can see why. I mean, all three of them are struggling. I mean, Jake and Devin are apart. They can't be together the way that they want to, and Jake's foster parents here don't like the fact that he's gay and has a boyfriend, so they're like forbidding him from seeing Devin. And Devin lost his mother, so he's living with foster parents. I guess they mentioned it, right? I don't think they showed his foster parents or anything like that. And then Lexi still has her mom and her sister, but there's no one that she can talk to about any of this. Like, none of them. The only people the three of them can talk to are each other. And they've been separated for like 6 months. So, like, it makes sense that Lexi is going down this road of self-medication and trying to numb all the trauma and pain and anxiety and everything. Like, it really made me feel for Lexi a lot in this episode. Just seeing her, the path that she's had to go down just to deal with all this. Like, and even when she's in therapy with the mom and with Caroline. And Caroline says that the person who snuck into the house trick-or-treating and stuff was Chucky. And she literally had to just lie through her teeth for the sake of not looking crazy herself and say that, no, it was my ex-boyfriend, my boyfriend who killed everybody. I forgot his name. But it was him who killed everybody. And then when the mom starts kicking in with, oh, I never liked him from the beginning, and then she starts defending him because she knows he wasn't responsible for any of that, that it was Chucky. But if she says a word of that, she's getting sent away. Like, any of them. Like, and so just being in that predicament of having this huge traumatic experience that's ongoing now follows them into this season, obviously, with everything that's gonna go down for the rest of the season with Chucky and them, and not being able to talk to anyone except for your two friends, and you're all separated for 6 months. And 6 months is a long time to sit there pondering with all these thoughts and memories and stuff of all the events that happened in the first season to them, and not being able to talk about it really. Like, they do a good job in this episode of really showing you how much they were all affected from Chucky and by all the events that happened last season. They did a good job with that. I enjoyed that. And Lexi, when she starts banging Belle, the doll, and I like that they addressed that she was a doll that's a rare doll that was made in the 90s. And Bride of Chucky came out in, what, 96, 97, 96, I want to say. So I just like how they address that. Just bringing in another doll that looks just like the Tiffany doll, because it is, and addressing that it's a rare doll from the 90s. So just a nice little inclusion there. Then cute scene with Lexi talking to Caroline, and after she just starts taking the Belle doll and starts bashing the shit out of her on the floor, and then she ties her wrists up, the doll's wrists, to the chair, and she says that dolls are fucked up and don't ever trust any doll. And then Caroline's like, you said the F word. She's like, yeah, I did. This is serious. And then she makes Caroline repeat it back to her, and like, dolls are fucked up. Cute little scene. Like, that was cool too. Then Jake ends up cabbing it from Salem to Devin's place, and then they go to find Lexi, and then Chucky being at the door with the Jake's brother, his foster brother. What the hell is his name? I wrote it down. Was it Gregory or Gary? This kid was so adorable, man. Like, that actually really surprised me that they killed him off in the first episode like this. I thought that was going to be a whole new character and a whole new dynamic between him and Jake, and it seemed like the only reason he's sticking around with these foster parents that don't approve of him being gay and his relationship with Devin, seems like he was just sticking around just for caring about Gary and trying to be like a big brother to him. And that was kind of what was getting Jake through not being able to be with Devin and help him through all this craziness that they've been through. And just to have what happened to this kid happen, like, I did not expect that at all. And he shows up at the door with Chucky. Gary shows up with Chucky with the homemade bomb in his hands. And the whole conversation, or not even conversation, but the whole thing with Chucky talking about how he takes Uber everywhere nowadays, and that how it used to be so hard for him to get around. He'd have to kidnap like people to drive him places. Now he can just arrange for him to get picked up and dropped off, and that was great. Great stuff. Like, I was laughing a lot through that. That was really, really funny little monologue from Chucky. Then we even get a cute little Scooby-Doo reference in here when he says, like, I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Like, funny stuff there too. Then they're waiting for Lexi to come downstairs, and she's upstairs sniffing like a whole bunch of pills. Like, you see the fucking amount of pill bottles in her medicine cabinet? There's like 2 whole shelves just filled with pill bottles. So I don't know how much is like prescribed to her, or some's the mom's, or some's Caroline's. I mean, they've all been through, that whole family's been through crazy trauma and stuff, from losing the father and, the mother's husband and everything, and him being murdered by Chucky at the finale of last season. They've been through a hell of a lot, so who knows who's prescribed what But between her smoking pot and doing cocaine and taking these pills and stuff, like, messed up in the head, and they're waiting for her to come downstairs so Chucky can blow them all to hell. And basically, this was his plan, was to get them all together so he can just wipe them all out. And he knows that there's other Chuckies out there still. So even though he's going to be killing himself trying to kill them and blow them up, he knows that he's still out there. That Chucky is still alive and well, and that he will live on, even though they won't. And then Devin tasers Chucky, and Gary picks the bomb up and starts running into the kitchen with it, and then he gets startled by the Tiffany doll, or Belle, whatever you want to call her for this situation. And Chucky just attacks him from behind, and the bomb goes off, man. And I was thinking to myself on that commercial break, I was like, all right, so he only said it was like a 6-foot radius, but he was right on top of him, like, when it blew up. Like, I wonder what's going to happen here. Then when they cut back to the show, and it was just the three of them in the therapist's office, and them saying that the kid died, I was like, oh shit, really? They just killed off this kid. Like, the first episode of this season. And I mean, I guess you got to start off with a bang, and that's exactly what happened. And I made a little sad face. Poor Gary. That kid was adorable. He could have been kicking Chucky's ass as Robin later on in the season, but unfortunately he is gone. Then all three of them get shipped off to this Catholic school, like, for troubled youth, which is the same place that Charles Lee Ray was when he was their age. And that's where we see him in the first season, the flashback part of one of the episodes where he first met Eddie, right? Caputo was in that school. So cool how that plays into it, that they're going to the place that Charles Lee Ray grew up in. I feel like the bomb thing felt a little manufactured to get them all to the school. Like, it was shocking for sure. Like I said, I didn't expect it at all, having Gary get killed like that. But I feel like the whole situation, the aftermath of that, of them making this homemade bomb that ends up killing the younger kid, killing Gary. I don't know. I feel like there would be a lot more questions there, like a lot like who made this bomb, like an investigation into it, something. But they just get shipped right off to this school by a therapist. I don't know. I felt it was just a little bit manufactured feeling. Just like, all right, we got to think of a way to get all three of them together and get them to this school location that they're going to be in for, like I said, I don't know how long, but I'm guessing the majority of the season. So I felt that they could have done a little better, thought of something a little better to get them all to that school at the end. But aside from that, I had really no complaints. I thought it was a good first episode. Not a lot happens, like I said, because usually with most season premieres and stuff, they're going to be like the slowest episode of the season. Because especially for this, since there's a time jump and everything, and we got to dive into where these characters are mentally, emotionally, everything after what they went through, and them being apart, and then finally getting them back together. So there was a lot of stuff that had to be covered in this first episode before we can truly move forward with the season, which I think is exactly what is going to happen next week. It's going to pick right up after that, because at the end here we see a box getting delivered to the school, which looks just like a good guy doll sized box, which if Andy was still around, he would know exactly what's in there, like we saw at the end of was it Curse of Chucky or Cult of Chucky? Curse of Chucky. He knows what a good guy doll sized box is, and he knows what's in it. But that's what I think for the next episode, I think is where it's gonna pick up like right off the bat. Now that we got them in this school, we got them in this location, and now Chucky's going to make his appearance again and raise hell. And I'm sure at least one of the three of these main characters is going to be blamed for at least one murder at this school. Like, there's no way that that's not happening. Like, at least one of them is getting blamed for the first one or two people who get killed at this place, for sure. Because nobody's believing that a fucking doll is killing these people, just like I say with all of these movies. That no one's going to believe this, that a doll's alive. So, I can definitely see that happening. I do know that Glenn and Glenda are going to be in this season. That's like the only thing I know. And that I didn't even really want to know. But it kind of just slipped through the cracks of trying to avoid spoilers and everything. And I said, oh. And then once I heard it though, I was like, oh shit, Glenn and Glenda are coming back? Awesome. Because I love Seed of Chucky. I covered the entire franchise, the movies on here a few months ago. And I said it enough in that video. And I love Seed of Chucky. I don't care what anybody says. I know that movie has a lot of haters. But the whole series is ridiculous. Like, from the very first Child's Play. Like, there's been just insane shit happening throughout the whole franchise. So, yeah, it did get a lot more crazy and, like, a lot more humor-oriented and comedic as Bride of Chucky came out, and then even more so with Seed. So I can see why people don't care for it, like, absolutely. But I love Seed of Chucky. And I love the character of Glenn and Glenda. So just knowing that they're going to make an appearance and be back here this season is great. Can't wait to see them. And I wonder how they're going to get brought back into the mix. So we got the three main characters now. Lexi, Devin, and Jake are at this Catholic school for troubled youth. And we have a box being delivered at the end, which we can only assume is either a good guy doll or maybe a Tiffany doll. I don't know. We're going to have to find out next week on Chucky Season 2. All in all, just good to see the show back on TV. Like, I enjoyed the first season so much, and just tuning in on TV and seeing Chucky on TV again was great. Like, besides the little bit of, like I said, of not much happening, and I already explained the reasons for that and stuff, enjoyed the episode. And can't wait to see where it goes from here. So Chucky Season 2, Episode 1 is over. The show's finally back. And I will be doing a video after every episode of the season to talk about what we just witnessed. And what I just saw, I'm happy with. So as long as it keeps going good from here and higher up from here, I think it's going to be a great season. But alright guys, I'll have a video or two up a little bit later, a few hours from now probably. I'm going upstate tomorrow. I'll be up there till Monday or so. My dad usually has a fishing trip every year, every October, with some of his friends come up. I invite some people up to our log home up there, upstate, and no one's gone fishing in like a fucking decade. Usually, it's basically just all of us getting fucked up for a weekend. So, fun times to be had, but I will still be getting videos out every night, early morning while I'm up there as usual in the haunted sauna, and we'll have some good stuff coming. And later tonight I'll have either Halloween 2 and 3 or at least Halloween 2 discussion videos up. So alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed the episode if you watched, and yeah, Halloween 2 and hopefully 3 coming in a few hours from now. But alright guys, wherever you're from, hope you're having a good day, good night, and I will talk to you all soon.